Hello and welcome everyone to new number ones for the week of February the 25th. My name is Corey and you're here with me now. And today, the new number one to represent last week in comics comes from our friends at Keenspot Comics Maid Cafe. Maid Cafe was a selection I made based off of premise because after the kind of the debacle last week with IDW's Smile for the Camera, which turned out to be a tie-in to the Smile horror franchise and not really what I wanted to do in the spirit of this show, I thought it'd be better if I did a little bit of research before jumping into new number ones as opposed to just going in completely blind. So I looked at all the new number ones that were coming out last week, made a list of the ones I would prefer to grab if they were available, and Maid Cafe was one of the tops. So, Maid Cafe is written by Aimee, DeLong, and Kazue Watanabe, with art by Remy, Eisu, Mokhtar, if the pronunciation is correct. If not, my apologies. But anyway, Keenspot came to us a couple of weeks ago in the very first episode of New Number Ones with Holy Brawl. So I already had a feeling that they are a little bit more friendly to newer creators than some of the other publishers would be. And Maid Cafe's pretty simple premise. This is a story of Mao, who works at a maid cafe and also is pretty handy with a chainsaw, and what happens when she gets pushed to her breaking point. So, the first thing I'll tell you about story wise is this book came in a plastic bag. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw I've made a post about it and kind of made the joke that usually when a comic is in a bag, it's either a collector's item or it's porn. I knew that maid cafes have, for those who have only heard of the concept but not actually seen or been to one, the idea that it's like a sex thing. It's not. Um, for those who are not familiar with maid cafes, is basically like a hospitality kind of gimmick where you go and an attractive young person in a little outfit is just really fucking nice to you. And that's kind of it. And there are people who really dig it, and there are people who, you know, it's the kind of thing that would attract some creeps, like most things in life. Anyway, yes. So Mao is a young woman in her early 20s, and she is in school for nursing. But you get the idea that this is a young woman who has been fucked with for most of her life. So throughout the story of the first issue, she is called ugly, she is called fat, she is called old, not talented enough to be a featured maid performer, and we get to see her gradually descend into madness before our issue ends with her promising to, well, not promising to, but basically like going back for the chainsaw that she's keeping in her locker at work for whatever reason. So anyway, the book was bagged, as if you can see in the top corner. It does say for mature readers only, right there by the number one. And so I kind of went into this idea that this was going to be a really graphic and violent book. And issue one wise, not really. There's not really much of it. This is kind of the most that we see, and that's our character Mao. As you can see, the art's very serviceable. It accomplishes what it sets out to do. But yeah, there wasn't really a lot of gore or violence in this. And if the premise of the book is gore and violence, I kind of want to see it in the first issue. Um, you know, when I go and look at a new number one, what do I look for? I look for, is this a good introduction of the characters? Have we established the world that this is set in? Do we know the rules that are in place? And is there enough meat on the bone to kind of keep this concept pushing forward? Um, this book kind of promises to be kind of a slash and hack violent book. And like I said, there really wasn't a lot in that. So if you're gonna promise me violence and gore, I kind of want to see violence and gore in the first issue. I think it did a great job of establishing why Mao is breaking. We don't really know too much about her as a character. We see a flashback to her as a child when she's young with her father, cutting down trees in the forest. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think there was just enough here for me. So especially for the price point of $5.99. So I will say that it's, I give this a good solid like B minus. I mean, it does a great job of establishing the story it's wanting to tell. It just didn't deliver on what I thought it was going to deliver, and maybe that's on me and my expectations as a reader. So that's it for the new number one. Like I said, that is Maid Cafe by Keenspot Comics. I will say that Our episode on the Christopher Nolan Batman movies just aired the other day. It was a lot of fun to do, even though it was the second time that we've done that one. Upcoming this week, we have a trivia of Dylan and John, who are Marvel Comics guys, trying to answer a bunch of DC Comics questions, with me kind of acting as the presenter, or the Chuck Woolery, if you will, if we're going to go with like the dating game or whatever the game show that was he hosted. And after that, we're going to finally have the finals of our tournament, which is a video I still need to edit. So in the meantime, be sure to subscribe to Smart Avengers, either on Spotify or YouTube or any of our other platforms that you listen to podcasts on. Be sure to check out new number ones next week or the week after, whenever we find a suitable new number one to have. That's going to be all for me, though. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I will see you all later. Bye.